What's up, everybody? My name is Christo, and this is another episode of Toy Punks. Today we've got episode number 39, and we're going to be unboxing and reviewing NECA's Ash vs. Evil Dead Series 2. That's right, we've got all three. We've got the Asylum Ash, we've got Henrietta, and we've got the Demon Spawn. We're going to be checking out all three figures, and we're going to be doing so while we listen to a little music that's got a familiar name. The band is called Ash Williams. This is off their album Pulsar, which came out back in March of 2017. Really awesome punk band out of San Diego, California. So put your chainsaws down, pick yourselves up a shemps, and enjoy the show. Toy Punks. Oi. So here they are, Series 2 of the Ash vs. Evil Dead figures by NECA. We've got Asylum Ash, we've got Henrietta, and we've got the Demon Spawn. We're going to check out the packaging on these guys, and then we'll get each of them individually opened and check them out one by one. We're going to start over here. We'll just look at the packaging on Ash. Again, this is the Ash Williams Asylum Ash. You can see it's written down there. He's got the photo of him in his Asylum gear down there, which is kind of cool. Ash vs. Evil Dead. And then it's just got the figure nicely displayed. You can see all of his accessories and everything through the window here. Other than that, it's just got the red background with the black trees there. And then if you look behind the figure, it's got a black background with the red trees. So they just inverted it for the background of the box, which looks kind of cool. It just makes it pop a little bit. Real nice. Other than that, the front is pretty simple. This box in general is pretty simple. On the side, you just have the Ash vs. Evil Dead logo, Star's Original Series, and the NECA logo. This is actually the same packaging, I believe, that they used in the Series 1 figures, which is fine. I mean, it works for the figures. It looks good. And then on the back here, you've got Ash vs. Evil Dead. And then you got a little bit of information here about the figure / show. You can pause that and read that if you want to. That information is the same on the back of all three of the figures, so we're not going to read that or really kind of look at that again, but you had that to pause right there. Other than that, you got a shot of the figure right here. Really cool. I really like the way that he looks. I'm really excited to get this guy opened up. As soon as they showed off this figure, I mean, awesome. Anyway, you got a couple more photos here, and then down here also available, which are also right there. That's about it. On the bottom, you got the technical information, as always. You got the people here at NECA right there. And then you got the Star's legal information, NECA Real Toys, not for children 0 to 3 years old, people. Not recommended. That's about it. So that's that figure. We'll just take a look at the backs of each of these because each one just has a different name right here and then a different photo in the corner there, which is really cool. There you got a nice shot of Ted Raimi's Henrietta. And then on the back, you get a couple shots of the figure. Boom, you got the big, long body shot of that one. And then you've got these headshots as well and also available. And then on the back of the Demon Spawn, again, you got Demon Spawn down here in the corner on the right. And then on the left, you've got a photo of the Demon Spawn, the adult one. And then here, again, photo of the figure, 2 photos on the side, also available. Straightforward box, decent. Really looking forward to these figures. Let's get them opened up one by one. I've been waiting for this Asylum Ash. As much as I really dig this Henrietta, let's start with Asylum Ash, and then we'll move on to Henrietta, and we'll finish up with the Demon Spawn. So let's get these guys out of the way, and let's do it. Toy Punks. Oi. Asylum Ash is on the hunt. Take a look at this guy. I mean, he is awesome, everybody. Check it out. Asylum Ash. It's not very often that we get an Ash figure that doesn't have the classic brown pants, blue shirt, so this is really cool that NECA decided to go ahead and make this version. I really liked this guy. When he did this in the show in Season 2, this was a really cool moment of the show, so I'm really glad that they made a figure. It looks awesome. It looks exactly the way that he looked in the show. Let's get right down to it, and we'll check out the paint, the sculpt, all that good stuff. So we'll start off with the paint and the sculpt. So, like I said, he's wearing, this is from when he's in the insane asylum. He's got the straight jacket that's all torn up, just like he has in the show. Awesome. He's got the straps on the outside of it as well. There's a lot of good sculpted detail in there if you take a look. A lot of good paint. dirty wash. It was really like he was in a dirty old broken down asylum, so this is exactly the way it was supposed to look. He's even cut up here. It looks a little bit, looks really cool. I like the sculpt and the paintwork on this a lot. Like he said, he's got a couple little cuts and stuff. I mean, it was a struggle when he was in there. It was crazy. He's got the straitjacket on, you know. He's getting convinced that he killed all of his friends and none of it was real. It wasn't deadites, it was him all along, you know. Down here, he's got the slices all along the pant legs. Dirty, dingy around here. This is a completely different shade, like way darker here because the bottom of his legs from his knee down are just even dirtier. He's got his dirty boots on. Everything looks good. He's got the extra thing underneath, like he's got his like hospital shirt underneath his straitjacket. Really cool. Really looks good. He's got his chainsaw, which is always classic. And then he's got this amazing face sculpt here. This figure, actually, I think, in my opinion, has probably the best Bruce Campbell face sculpt. And you'll see it right there. It's in the background. But it's awesome. It looks really good. And really like it. It's got a lot of nice hair sculpt. His hair was all messy in those scenes. It looks really good. This is when he's probably hunting him down, I believe. He's kind of got like that sinister grin on it. Not grin, I'm sorry. Sinister, like, just plain look on his face. You know, with his head pointing downward and he's looking up at you through his eyebrows almost. Looks cool. I like it a lot. As far as the articulation goes, let's go ahead and take his hand off of the chainsaw here, which is cool here. He's got arm articulation. His shoulder slides up and down and comes out as well a little bit. It's a little bit stopped by the shirt, but it's not too bad. However, here up on the elbow, now he's got the elbow articulation is 2 joints, which the elbow itself is a little bit of a longer piece, which is really cool because now he can kind of reach his hand in there and he can hold the chainsaw, which I know on a lot of my other figures that I have, a lot of the other Ash figures, that's not a really easy task for him to do because of the way that his arms are. His arms are kind of stiff and they don't move quite right. I mean, you can get in it to, you know, to do it, but it's not simple. It's real simple with this figure a lot. I like this sculpt a lot, and I like this extra little bit of articulation there a lot. It's got like a little tear in the arm I've noticed there, and I'm not sure if it was like that right out of the box. I'm not guessing it's not supposed to be like that, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the figure at all. Or it's possible that it is supposed to be like that for the articulation. I don't really know. But he does have wrist articulation as well, which can move forward and back, swivel all around, all that good stuff. Head is on a joint here where it can move all around. His head is removable, obviously, because you can use the interchangeable heads. Same thing over here, except he's got a chainsaw. And just like the other figures, it has this little piece here from the arm that Pablo made him in the show. And I'm assuming, yeah, this can disconnect, and then you can attach any of the other arms probably to this as well if you wanted to. Anybody who wanted to make customs or anything like that, do something a little different. Down on the legs, he doesn't have hip waist articulation, by the way. And then down on the legs, his hips move outwards, forwards, backwards, all that good stuff. Knee is just his standard Ash Williams knee here. He's got a trick knee, so you got to be careful. And then, you know, the shoe articulation, the ankle articulation, rather, moves up and down just slightly and then swivels back and forth. He doesn't really need too much ankle articulation. So that's that figure right there. You saw this face. I want to show you the other head sculpt. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this off real quick. Pop his head off. And it just pops right off. And then you got a peg right there. And we'll take this head now off this little makeshift Lego stand here and put this one on. And it just pops right in there. But look at this figure. I mean, this sculpt on this head is insane. It really, to me, this looks exactly like Bruce Campbell. I mean, it looks just like he did in the movie, in the show. I mean, it's awesome. He looks great. The sculpt is incredible on this. I don't know how they got it down so well, but this is perfect. That's all I can say about that head sculpt. Aside from that, he's got his trusty boomstick, always. If I can get it to focus here. Oh. There. And that's just the same boomstick he's always got. Now, let's set him real quick right here, and I'm going to show you the Ultimate Ash from the Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 1 that came out back in November. We did an episode for that. If you want, hit the info button up at the top right-hand corner of your screen, and you can check that video out. Otherwise, here he is. Just so we can get a quick comparison here next to the two of them. You know, it's awesome. He's got the same straps and all that good stuff. Obviously, they're two very different figures because this guy's got his Asylum gear and this dude is wearing his classic brown pants, blue shirt, Ash Williams combo. But the face sculpts as well. If I can move this boomstick, please. I mean, this one here is pretty good as well, but I don't know what it is. If it's the expression on his face, something about this face sculpt is it just screams Bruce Campbell to me. This one is literally screaming, and it is Bruce Campbell, but this one's awesome. That about takes care of that figure. So there he is. We're going to go ahead and focus real quick. And then I'm going to check out Henrietta now. We already showed you the box, so let's show you the figure. I'm going to get that unboxed, and let's do it. Toy Punks. Oi. Fresh out of the cellar, Henrietta has come to life as a Deadite. Check this thing out. This figure is awesome as well. I just talked about that Asylum Ash. I'm probably going to talk even longer about Henrietta because this is amazing. I already have the old Henrietta figure, but this figure is awesome, and I'm going to explain why. We're going to go over in detail here. Mostly, the only reason I really think this one's so much better is the head sculpts, which we're going to check out very soon. But let's start with this body. Most of the body, I looked over this figure and compared it with the other figure that I have, the old Henrietta figure that came out, and most of this body is the same sculpt. I'll bring her out at the end and we can compare the old one, but for the most part this is the same sculpt with the exception of this thigh piece right here. The legs are the same, the weight, everything up here is the same. This thigh piece for some reason is sculpted differently than my other one. Other than that, from what I can tell, this is the same sculpt as the old figure, but that's alright because that old figure was one of my favorite figure of the collection until I got this one. This is one of my favorite Evil Dead figures just because of how amazing the detail is on everything on here. And now I can like it even more because this head looks like Mr. Ted Raimi, which, as everybody who enjoys Evil Dead a lot knows, Ted Raimi, brother of Sam Raimi, is the guy who played Henrietta back in the old movie and also in the new show, which is awesome that they brought him back and they did that again in the show, except this time they went ahead and NECA did a nice face sculpt to him as Henrietta, and it is incredible. I mean, check this out. This is insane. The sculpt detail. We'll just jump right into it, and we'll start here at the head, and we'll work our way down with the paint and the sculpt because it's incredible. Here you can see all the fine detail as far as the ear goes, all the way down to cuts in his inner face. Turn around, you can see here open mouth, and you can look in there, and I mean there are teeth sculpted in there. If I can get that to focus. And it's actually like a pretty deep sculpt into the mouth. It's insane. And then it's got really good detail around the eyes with the dead-eyed eyes, which is nice because you don't have to worry about any wonky eyes here because she's a deadite, so they're just plain white, which is awesome. And then at the top, you got some look at some cuts there on the forehead and everything. Bring it around to the back, and you got this crazy long hair, which is just like it is in the show. and it looks really cool. It's real hair, which is really thin, which is how it looks in the show as well. Awesome. Really, really cool. We'll move straight down from there. Now, like I said, this is the same sculpt that they used from the other figure, but that's all right. It's got the shredded shirt here that she had in both the movie and the show, and then from down you got the chest here that's sculpted in extreme detail, as you can see. And then, but what's different is there's different paint apps on this one, so you got like a lot better cuts here as well. They're nice and fresh. Everything down here looks really good. You got the sculpt in the belly that's all grotesque and just bloody and busted open all over, and then the sculpt with like the rotting flesh here in the legs. I mean, everything in here just is awesome. On the inside, I mean, let me see if I can get this to focus real good for you, because inside there it looks crazy. I think you can see it better when we get around to the back here. Yeah, so on the back, I mean, just inside of this here, and this is awesome not only because of the sculpt work, but then also the paint added on top of that really makes that look just wet and real and slimy and crazy. It looks awesome. Looks really, really cool. A lot of the sculpt here around the leg too. Now, like I said, I believe this leg sculpt, just this piece right here, is a different sculpt from the other figure. But it looks really good. It matches really well with the rest of it. The feet, again, just rotten flesh, chunks missing everywhere. Exactly the way it's supposed to look. This figure is awesome. And then you can see there on the bottom it still says NECA 2011, because that's when the old Henrietta came out. And this is the same sculpt. Same mold, I'm assuming. So that about wraps up this part here. Let's go ahead and check out the awesome extended head when Henrietta goes through her transformation and does that insane thing, which awesome again. Ted Raimi did an awesome job to when he did that again in Ash vs. Evil Dead, because that was really, really cool. Now this again this is completely different to me from the last figure, because this head disconnects from the neck, which the other one did not. This is an awesome thing to have. It just connects right here, and then boom, she can be like, I'll swallow your soul, I'll swallow your soul. And then, you know, he can grab her and cut her head off, swallow this, shoot her in the face with a shotgun. I mean, the uses for this disconnection here, you can have him fighting with her and cutting her head off. You can have him holding her head. You can have him shooting her in the face. You can do a lot of different stuff with this headpiece right here. And not only is it awesomely sculpted, this is a completely different sculpt from the other one, I'm pretty sure. It has two eyeballs because she's got two eyes in the Ash vs. Evil Dead series. The head can move freely on a joint from the neck, actually. And then on the inside, it's painted as well, bloody. Again, you've got real hair here, which I believe the other one has real hair as well, but it's not nearly as full and long as this hair. Sculpt on the ear here, you got the pieces of the skin that are just torn and missing. And then my favorite part here, the jaw's on the joint, so you can move it up and down. You can make her talk even. You know, I might just have a little fun with that. This is really cool. I like a lot. I like that moves a lot. I like that they added the disconnected joint there so it can move. Really, really cool piece. And then this is bendy. This is the same as the other figure. So you can move this and kind of get her into a crazy neck position, which, you know, like with her neck kind of going, curving. You'll see it in a second, because that's how I have my old one set up. That's that. I mean, that about covers the extra head, which is awesome. I can go ahead and pop that on real quick so you see how that looks. I'm not likely to bend this neck a lot. Sorry. I'm not going to bend this neck too much. Just a little bit, just to kind of show it to you. Because I want to, once I get this thing set up on the shelf, I'll set the neck up the way that I want it. I'm probably actually, since I have the other one with the long neck setup, I'm probably going to have this one with the Ted Raimi head because that thing's awesome. But yeah, you just pop her head right there on, and she's got the crazy long neck just like she has in the show, just like she had in the old movie. He can chop her head off. Boom. Head on the floor. Awesome. It's out of frame, but really, really cool. I'm assuming you can probably take this peg out of here too, because this here is also painted. Focus. There we go. I'm guessing you may be able to pull the peg out of that. I'm not going to try that, but yeah, even if you can't, this is still awesome that they kind of made that little extra effort to make that so you can cut the head off. Really, really cool. So let's go ahead and pop this regular head back on for right now. Actually, let's keep it separate because I want to just take a quick look at the other Henrietta's head. I'm going to bring in the other Henrietta. I want to take a look at the old sculpt versus the new sculpt so that way you can kind of see what I'm talking about as far as the difference goes. And then we'll look at the body as well so you can see that. So let me bring her in and let's do that. They'll swallow your soul. They'll swallow your soul. They'll swallow your soul. Check it out. Double Henriettas. Awesome. Just wanted to get a quick shot of the two next to each other so you can see the differences. Clearly off the bat, we got different paint jobs. This one's a lot brighter, as you can see. This one's a lot darker, more decayed, I believe, which I would agree because in this one, she's been in the ground for a long time, and in this one, she's fresh into that type of mode. She actually transforms into this in the show. Super awesome. But let's take a quick look at the head sculpts. We'll look at these guys, as you can see. Let me get that to focus here for a second. And these head sculpts are different enough to be, you can see this one matches how she looked in the movie, and this one obviously matches how she looks in the show. Again, the jaw opens in this one, which is really cool. The teeth are a little bit more accurate. They're a little smaller. Overall, I love both of these sculpts, but this one on the right here is awesome. And let's go ahead and check out the other two heads now. That right here, you got the Ted Raimi head, which is awesome. And then this is the old Henrietta head and the new Henrietta head. They're both Ted Raimi, if I'm not mistaken. But the new one just looks amazing. I like it a lot. It looks really, really good. I like the fact that it's real hair, that it's really long and crazy and kind of thin and looks kind of, kind of nasty. Looks good. It looks really good. Both of these are awesome. Again, these two are going to be my favorite pieces in the Evil Dead collection. I've got all of the NECA stuff, and these are my favorite ones out of all the Evil Dead ones. So that takes care of these figures. This guy, let's get rid of Henrietta. Let's move her out of the way, and let's bring in that demon spawn and finish it up. Toy Punks, oi. Spawn is here to take you down. Check this guy out. Demon Spawn, everybody. This guy is an interesting figure, and I'm going to tell you why right off the bat. He's wearing a codpiece. He's wearing a G-string. Why is he wearing a G-string? I don't really know. Maybe he wears one in the show. I've seen that second season twice now. Did not notice them wearing G-strings in the show. But maybe they were. I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and watch and pay attention, I guess, because that was a little surprising when I picked this figure up. I did not notice that even on the promo art that they were wearing that. I mean, when I went back and I looked at the photos again, it is there, but it's not as clearly dark, like black and lighter gray around it. It's kind of odd to me. So that right there, let's get that out of the way because that really threw me off when I got this figure. Moving along, the head sculpt here, we'll go ahead and start with this head sculpt because we'll start at the top, work our way down. This head sculpt is awesome. I like this figure, aside from that one piece thing, the G-string, I like this. The figure's pretty cool. The head sculpt looks really good. It's really kind of sick and twisted. It looks really gnarly. It's missing his eyeballs like he's missing in the show. His teeth are all looking crazy. It looks really cool. He's got the crazy head articulation up here with his super long neck. And then the neck articulation is also down here at the bottom, at the base. He's got these, like, everything is accentuated, his collarbones, because he's super skinny and lanky. He's got this crazy arm here, shoulder. He's got some elbow action going on with double articulation here. Sorry, you can see again, so he can kind of get in some crazy positions because they kind of crawl on the walls and stuff. I may have to get this guy hanging up on a wall in my collection when I set him up, because they totally, I think he'll do pretty well with all the extra articulation doing stuff like that, because you know, and then he's got the wrist articulation as well. Hit that before I move on. But then he's got the chest, upper chest here that can move. I mean, lower chest here, rib cage rather, and then he can also move his waist down and up, and it actually clicks, which is kind of cool. And then on his legs, classic forward, backwards, outwards, all that good stuff. Double articulation on the knee, up top here, and on the bottom. Cool. Because, yeah, you can totally have him up on a wall, hanging there, doing some crazy stuff. And then he's got the ankle articulation as well. Ankles feel loose, which could be a problem. I'm glad I got some NECA stands so I can put those on there. It's a very basic figure, but he's still kind of cool. We'll go ahead and now we're gonna have to deal with this again, because it's literally, like I said, it's a G-string. It goes around to the back and it goes down the crack. Why? Don't know. Yeah, so I mean, it's a pretty straightforward figure. It's kind of cool. I like that it comes with a couple different head sculpts. I was originally planning on getting a couple of these. I might still get a couple of these, so that way I can have a little bit of an army of demon spawns for Ash to deal with, you know, for him to fight. Still waiting on that Pablo figure and that Kelly and Ruby figure, NECA. But other than that, this Series 2 is pretty cool. Yeah, his feet are already pretty loose. There we go. But let's go ahead and take a look at these other two head sculpts real quick. Well, now that I got him standing. This one, he's got a yelling, action. So he looks really cool, a really good head sculpt. The head sculpts are awesome. I really like the heads. That's why I want to get maybe a couple more of these, so that way I can have a couple of them, have at least one of each head sculpt on display. Let's check that guy out too. He's just looking angry. He looks awesome. Really, really cool. Really good head sculpts. Number 2. That's about it. Real quick, let me focus, and then I'll also take a look at just one of the little guys here. Here's the child demon spawn. Now the child is wearing like underwear. That's cool, man. I mean, that's fine with me, but why are you wearing a G-string, dude? Like, it's kind of inappropriate if you ask me, buddy. Okay? It's a family show. Anyway, just so you can kind of see where he came from. Season 1, you had the demon babies. Season 2, you got the adult demons. And they look very similar. Obviously, they're grown and they're grayed out when they get older, I guess. But that's how he looks in the show. And I got to assume he's wearing a G-string in the show, because if he's not, then why did NECA put one there? That about does it. Let's go ahead and bring all 3 in real quick, just so we can take a look at them, because I've taken enough of your time. Give us just a minute of looking at all three of them in a row, and we'll bring them out. Toy Punks. Boy. So here they are, all 3 of the Series 2 figures in a row, just so you can check them out. Again, we've got Asylum Ash, we've got Henrietta, and we've got Demon Spawn and G-String. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go ahead and check out some of the other videos. Hit the info button up there in the top right corner. Like I said, those are the other Ash vs. Evil Dead figures we've done. We did the Ashy Slashy. We've done the Ultimate Ash. We've done, and now this one. I think that's it. So go ahead and check that out, and hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, wait.
So that's going to wrap up this episode of Toy Punks. I hope you guys like the show. I hope you like the figures. I'm a big fan of that Asylum Ash and that Henrietta myself.
And, I kind of like that G-String Demon Spawn as well. He's kind of cool. Again, hope you like the music. That was the band Ash Williams, and the album was Pulsar. You can check them out on Spotify, hit them up on Facebook, and make sure you guys hit up our Facebook, hit up our Instagram. We're always posting new stuff there, so check us out there. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. Go ahead and hit that bell up at the top for me, so that way you can get notifications whenever we got new content. And guys, don't forget the most important thing is to watch Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 3. It's out now. It's on Stars. You can watch it there. If you can't watch it on your cable, go ahead and get the Stars app. Make sure you watch the show, guys. We're trying to get a 4th season. We got to bring back Boomstick. We got to get it renewed. And the only way to do that is by watching the show. So go ahead and watch that. It's really good. Hope you guys like the show. Toy Punks. Oi.